Hi guys, this is 1.2b, the Quotient Rule of Exponents with the Children of Cain. So in Genesis 4, this is the NIV version, it says Adam made love to his wife Eve, and she became pregnant and gave birth to Cain. So Adam made love to his wife Eve, and she gave birth to Cain. She said, "With the help of the Lord, I have brought forth a man." Later, she gave birth to his brother Abel. So we already have a capital A for Adam, so I'll make that A sub 1, and Abel is A sub 2. So Eve gave birth to Cain and Abel, Cain first and Abel second. Now Abel kept flocks and Cain worked the soil. In the course of time, Cain brought forth some of the fruits of the soil as an offering to the Lord. And Abel also brought an offering, fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, which was the fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. But on Cain and his offering, he did not look with favor, which were some of the fruits of the soil. So Cain, who was the older one, was very angry, and his face was downcast. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry?" So let's go look at the original language here in Genesis chapter 4. And you go from right to left for Hebrew. It says, "And Adam knew Eve." So yada means knew, which they translated into made love to. Made love to. And then New Revised Standard Version, it just says knew. All right. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain and said, "I have acquired a man from," and then Jewish people usually don't say that word right there. It's the tetragrammaton. At least Orthodox ones don't. And she again bore this time his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And it came to pass in the course of time that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering to this person, the Lord. And he also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. And the Lord looked favorably upon Abel and his offering, but he did not respect Cain's offering. Cain was very angry and his countenance fell. So the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? And why?" And then we'll just go back to NIV. "Is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." Now Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out to the field." In the Samaritan Pentateuch, Septuagint, Vulgate, and Syriac, but the Masoretic text does not have "let's go out to the field." While they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother and killed him. So Cain attacked his brother and killed him. Okay. We're working on this family tree. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" "I don't know," he replied. "Am I my brother's keeper?" The Lord said, "What have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Now you are under a curse and driven from the ground, which opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it will no longer yield its crops for you. You will be a restless wanderer on the earth." Cain said to the Lord, "My punishment is more than I can bear. Today you are driving me from the land, and I will be hidden from your presence. I will be a restless wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me." But the Lord said to him, "Not so. anyone who kills Cain will suffer vengeance 7 times over. So that's a math topic, but that's not the topic I'm working on right now. Then the Lord put a mark on Cain so that no one who found him would kill him. So Cain went out from the Lord's presence and lived in the land of Nod, east of Eden. And Nod means wandering. Cain made love to his wife. So let's go to verse 17 and see if it's the same word as new, Knew. You see, it's back to new again. So New Revised Standard probably says new. Cain knew his wife. And she became pregnant and gave birth to Enoch. So Cain and his wife, she gave birth to Enoch, but we already have Eve, so we'll make E sub 1 be Eve and E sub 2 be Enoch. And then these ones are connected, and those ones are connected like that. And then you go like that, I guess. Cain was then building a city, and he named it after his son Enoch. To Enoch was born Erod, and Erod was the father of Mahujael. Mahujael was the father of Methushael, and Methushael was the father of Lamech, and it just keeps going on from there. So let's suppose we'll start with Cain. So let's say we had Cain and his wife. There were 2 people here. And then Enoch had children, so he had to have children with somebody. But let's say there were 4 here. And then let's say there were 8 here. And let's say there were 16 there as the generations go down. Okay. This isn't exactly what the story is way more complicated than that, but I just wanted to do this in terms of exponents. So our starting amount is 2, and then it doubles. So this first generation, when you start with Cain, to get to 2, you need your 2 and then times 2 to the 0 power. To get to 4, 2 times 2 to the first power. Because 2 to the first power is 2 times 2 is 4. To get to 8, 2 times 2 to the second power. So we always have this 2, and then every generation we multiply by 2 again. So this 2 times 2 squared means 2 times 2 times 2. And then this one means 2 times 2 to the 3. So call this the first generation, second, third, fourth. So if you were studying the 4th generation, which is 2 times 2 to the 3, and you wanted to think back 2 generations before that, you can divide by 2 to the 2. And then we can use the quotient rule of exponents, which says that if your base is a real number, which has a location on the number line, and your exponents are natural numbers like 1, 2, 3, etc. So a to the m over a to the n is a to the m minus n. The green one's the product rule, and this purple one is the quotient rule. Quotient. So in this case, we have the same base. So we leave this 2 over here, and then we say times 2 to the 3 minus 2, which is 2 times 2 to the 1, which is 4. So if you go back 2 steps, you end up with 4, starting with 16. And there are a lot of other uses for the quotient rule with exponents. So that was just a brief look at this quotient rule, and hopefully you'll remember it in the future. And then we also had the product rule there. So that was a reminder from 1.2a. And don't forget to get into the giveaway, and have a great day.